Hello everyone and welcome. This is an English lesson for the third grade high school students. Today we are going to revise what we have learned about cultural heritage and environmentally friendly tourism. You will make a list of rules for ecologically responsible tourists. You will also analyze tangible and intangible cultural heritage of York, Novi Dvori in Zaprešić, and your own town. And last but not least, you will present your town with a bookmark. For this lesson, you will need your notebook, something to write with, and a smartphone or a laptop with internet connection. You will also need a QR code reader. Feel free to stop the recording whenever you feel it is necessary. So, let's start. What do we have to keep in mind when planning our trip as a responsible tourist? To make it more realistic, decide on the destination and then think about the following. What can you as a tourist do to protect natural and cultural heritage as well as the environment? Also, think about your accommodation. What kind of places are you going to stay in? What do you have to pay attention to? Furthermore, transportation is seen as a serious problem in tourism. How can you reduce your carbon footprint while traveling? What about food and local community? Where should you buy your food and how can you help the locals? Make notes on it. These words can help you express your ideas. Use at least 6 of these words in your notes. If you can do better, go for it. After you finish, check your writing with your virtual classroom teacher. Our next activity is connected with York. I'm sure many of you would love to visit York. I know I would. Let's revise what we have learned about York so far. Watch the video and while watching, do the multiple choice exercise. You have seen many things that make York attractive to tourists. How many can you remember? Which of them belong to tangible and which to intangible cultural heritage? Make notes into your notebook. I'm sure you remembered most of the examples. Let's compare our lists. Have you remembered York Castle Museum and York Viking Center? And what about York Minster and Clifford Tower? And what about intangible cultural heritage? Traditional cream tea sounds great, as well as Yorkshire pudding wraps. York is also a town which invented the ghost walks. Besides York, in the last couple of lessons you did some exercises connected with Novi Dvori and Ban Josip Jelačić. This is a video about Novi Dvori created by students just like you with no professional equipment. Your task is to note down the examples of tangible cultural heritage while watching the video. These are examples of tangible cultural heritage mentioned in the video. Novi Dvori Castle, the Chapel of St. Joseph, Skurieni Museum, the Širnica, and Jelačić tomb. If you happen to visit Novi Dvori one day, you will also learn about its intangible cultural heritage, like the dishes prepared in Novi Dvori Castle, as well as about traditional costumes and ballroom dancing from the time of Ban Josip Jelačić. And a bit more about Josip Jelačić. We have prepared an exercise on expressing past. You will do it while reading about Ban. I'm sure it will be easy for you. This is our final activity. You will design a bookmark. In order to do that, you will need some of the things you have already created. You will choose between the text you have written about your town and a historical figure or one of your recordings. You will also need photos, preferably your own. If you don't have them, use these two web pages for free images. If you would like to make a video, you can. Just open an account in Animoto and use the materials you already have. Don't forget what we have learned about creating a PowerPoint presentation. The same rules apply here. Less is more. In Animoto, you can add your pictures, video clips, text, even music. After you finish, just copy the URL and you're ready for the next step. All the information you want to present, you will do with the help of QR codes. You will turn your text and recordings into QR codes. If you choose texts, make them short, maybe a fun fact or a short piece of information. But what if you have written a bit longer text, which you would like to use? What then? There are two things that can be done. You can turn the text into a picture using print screen and paint, then upload it into Google Drive or somewhere else where you can get URL, and that's it. URLs are easily transformed into QR codes. You can see an example of a bit longer text turned into a QR code if you scan this code. Another way of turning your text into URL is recording yourself narrating the text. You can do it with Vocaroo, an online voice recorder. You again get URL. After you turn all your materials into QR codes, upload them together with all the pictures you will need into Canva and design your bookmark. Congratulations! You have created a souvenir for your town. Now share it with others. Upload your bookmark into Padlet, write your first name and where you come from, and also don't forget to like other bookmarks. And in the end, let's see what you have done. Have you made notes about the behavior of a responsible tourist? Have you done exercises connected with York and Novi dvori? What about Kahoot on past? And finally, have you designed a bookmark? If you haven't managed to do all these things, don't worry, you still have time. This is it. This is the end of our last lesson about cultural heritage. I hope you had fun. Thank you for taking part in it. Goodbye and see you.